How to get a next question?
No, go
When
on.
we breathe into our chest, so isn't proper breathing mechanics like rib cage expansion?
Yes.
Okay, so then if I'm breathing and my breath goes,
Yeah, how do we make that happen? I've tried that after Beek's meeting last week, and I'm like, I don't think my ribs do anything. Okay. I think they like to sit where they are.
okay. So can you see the bottom of my rib cage? Hopefully not. I've been practicing. I think another thing is
There you go.
where is the bottom? So this is like
This is the bottom.
So it's not like a linear line across your body.
nope.
Sternum. That's how it's shaped.
Another like Connor was an artist.
It's a flower. Right, so down here we've got our xiphoid, and then nominate. So the bottom is this. The shape of the bottom is called the infrasternal angle. Some practitioners will even measure it. Technically, I think it's like 95 to 105 degrees is normal. But if you think here, right? So we want to have a healthy range. So when I'm laying down, can you see the bottom of mine very clearly?
No. Not there.
Hell yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is common for a lot of people. This or this. Right? So it's still here, but it's really pulled apart. So as we are inhaling to expand, we don't want it to be this way, because even though it feels like it's going out, it's just kicking the ribs out of the way. So they're going from this, nice and spread, and they're just kicking them out of the way, and they start to curl. That's why we get this flare. As we start inhaling, we want them to expand this way, not this way. So to inhale, it should be more of this, right? So you can't necessarily see the ribs flaring, and I still have to practice more, but the ribs are expanding and creating this space. So it shouldn't be popping off, they're more spread. Is that helpful?
So I understand that, but I think my question was more so because I will try to teach it that way, because I feel like the ribs down thing, for me, it's hard to grasp. For this, if I just like move my hands here and I'm like, I just like expand into the hands, like this, I can just get.
As long as it's not coming up, there's usually like 3 ways that I'll coach it. 1 will be keep the ribs down. 2 will be breathe into something.
Even with the ribs down, I'll like, I've done this, and then I feel like sometimes like clients will also do it, but like, see what the
That's the hard part.
Yeah, that would be me. Because like I already got
yeah
that
so
thoracic
it's
spine,
just
so
like-
then if I come to here, I'm like, well, we're just gonna give that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, and it's tough too. It's too far away. Because we don't want them to force it down and have their 6-pack bringing it down, forcing it down, right? The 6-pack is the mover, so we want it to be moving. We also don't want oblique gripping, and crunching them, even though it's down, it's like the pseudo down, they're not actually expanding. And so when I was using a rib down cue, I noticed some clients, they would just like crunch it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not working, but I don't get why. And so the one that I was teaching Madeline, which is breathe in as going down. So as you breathe in, bring your rib cage down. That's when that clicked more in my head. And some clients have responded well to like, I don't know how to do it, but once they get it, they got it better, because as it goes down, the ribs individually have to sink as it inhales, so it creates space. But the cues are your cues. That's what we want to happen.
Don't some people lack flexibility in their rib cage in the top because they've never used their diaphragm properly?
So many. Like, not everybody.
Don't use mobility within the rib cage. I guess proper breathing can happen. Right?
Yeah, like we'll talk general population, right? So if the head is here, collarbone, collarbone. Basically, this is pec, this is pec. This is called your platysma, which is like this sheath. It's fascia. This, all of this follows the position we're in most, which is here. So if this is all short, they're not breathing into any of this. They will say, screw that, and they will lift the whole thing to create pseudo volume for air to go into. Right? And that's why belly breathing is not just a complete cue. Right? Because belly breathing can be problematic too if they're just dumping this and then just breathing here.
Also, like posterior expansion.
Yeah, and that's where it depends on the person. The posterior expansion can accomplish the same goal if they are someone who's locked in an anterior tilt or lumbar extension. But yeah, you're right, Mike.
Now, is that natural for you? You've been working on recognizing for so long, or is it something that you have
Constantly think about it. Yeah.
just wondered if it could be like you train yourself enough to be like breathe perfectly.
Yeah, Kayla will probably remember because we worked on it a lot. My ribs were here.
They were.
And now this is effortless.
This is your norm. Now?
Complete norm.
Okay. Wow.
I couldn't even breathe in that position for like.
Yeah, it took me a
I
few
was like,
weeks. Because it's
It was
Where's
so
the
bad.
year go?
it's coordination, right? To be able to time and sequence the ribs to do this and the air to do this, the brain has to coordinate just as if it's doing a bicep curl.
Also, like stress will also change.
Big time. Yeah, that's definitely a conversation for another day. Does that little breathing sidebar make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So with the body reading that we just practiced, some of you it's new, some of you it's not. Hopefully you can see that there's little details that you can go into. And where we'll pick up next week is when you see, oh, this joint is internally rotated, this is here, this is here, this is here. Where we start with it is where we start fixing people, right? So if you see all of these problems, you're like, well, I have two questions. Which one's the compensation? Which one's the dysfunction? And then the even simpler, bigger questions like, well, where do I begin? Right? So you don't need to know, but you can start and do it correctly. Because A, as trainers, depending on what the problem is, it might not be inside of our scope. Posture stuff is for sure. You just start there. Rib cage, spine, technically the sacrum, and then the innominants are on top of it. But rib cage, spine, sacrum. Most of you probably don't know a ton of sacral mechanics, so we'll talk about it another day. But if we look at it, these are connected directly. So these are true joints. So if we start by fixing these positions, that's why breathing is so important. That's why understanding spinal and sacral mechanics are so important. If we start here and then fix outwards, it doesn't necessarily matter what the problem is, we'll fix it along the way. So you don't have to diagnose anything. You don't even know what the issue is. But if you can see where and how it's showing up in their movement and their posture, fix it from the start, it'll clear everything out of the way. You did a great job, and even better because you started from the root. So you don't need to know what the issue is. You just need to know where to start. Any questions for today?
Could we get, like an article or some reading on just like the rib expansion breathing stuff of like how to perform that, or even for ourselves with our clients, all that? Is there any
Yeah.
like, easy material? To be,
Easy,
like,
I'll find.
Okay.
There's a book. It's not an easy book, but it's a really good book. But yeah, I'll find a chapter in there that's really good. But actually, look up breathing wave.
breathing like
Breathing wave.
Breathing wave.
Breathing wave.
I'm ready to turn on.
you were good.
I was, but I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
You're good. Other notes. next week we're going to go into more of the skeletal hierarchy, and then the contractile parts of posture. So locked long, locked short, function that comes up. Yeah?
Stuff.
Thank you, people.
Thanks,
Thank
Connor.
you.
Gracias.